So, what VIP is going to be on? Going to be on the Titans. Dude, I don't mind it over there. I'll be on the Saints. And then the Bucks. I think the Bucks will be my multi-unit play.
The stream or whatever.
What's going on, everybody? It's Top Bets. We got Azim Rakes back with us on a great Friday night as we go deep diving into the NFL Week 5 season. You guys have been tuning into each and every week. Definitely have been pretty profitable. Last week in that Who's That Capper tournament, we put together a perfect 6-0 record. How we feeling tonight, Azim?
Feeling good. We've had I've been here on here weeks 2 and 4, and we killed it then. And then last week, like you said, 6-0. I'm gonna try to replicate that this week too. We're in second place right now by like a very minute amount of units.
Right.
So we definitely want that first place. I have yet to lose, and I think you haven't lost on Who's That Capper either. Oh wait, no.
No, I got a crappy week 1. Yeah, or not week 1, week 2, I think.
I mean, it was what was it, 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
Because of the what was it, the Bears?
Yeah, that was
Raiders Bears.
Yeah,
that was a bad.
I couldn't
you
believe
were supposed to be 1.
Supposed to be 2-1. Yep. But no, it's been good. The NFL has been good overall. VIP for me has been up plus 10 units. Azim, how's yours been doing?
College football has been doing really well. I think we're up 7 units, 7.8 units in college football. Uh, Regular football, I think I'd have to check, but I think we're like -1 unit.
Right,
Uh,
hovering it right at even. Yep.
Had a couple of big 3 unit losses, unfortunately, to start the season. Obviously, that's not going to persist. It's been upsetting because, my 1 units are definitely outperforming my 3 units or my even my 2 units, right?
Right,
So,
right.
but it's not going to persist. The 3 units should turn it around. Um, you have more systems and trends agreeing on a single play. It's generally going to be more profitable. So, just waiting on that turnaround. It should end up hopefully this week it ends up doing well. We don't
Yeah,
have any 3 weeks this week though, so that's a little. It's going to be a little fun to
yeah,
see.
and that's kind of where I was heading at. It's like I think there's a lot more data now, which
Hmm.
helps for sure. But I think the lines get a little bit sharper because of that,
Right.
and so there's not like this week in general. I'm kind of with you. I don't have a 3 unit play or a 2.5 unit play. I have a 2 unit play that I'll give out for VIP. I'll do all my write ups tonight as well. But yeah, it's not one of those slates where like one play in particular like just jumps out at you and you know that you got to have some type of piece of that. I would say last night the Rams did, but I got very, very scared when everybody in the world was on them as well. Because we got on them pretty early. I think I took it, I don't know, sometime on Tuesday. And I was like, all right, just getting this out there, thinking it might move a little bit. And then all of a sudden everybody is on it, money line and everything like that. I'm like, oh God, this ain't going to end well. And luckily they ended up covering for sure.
I almost took the Seahawks last night. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, from what my like systems and trends were telling me, nobody predicted Russell Wilson going out in the
Oh,
second position.
yeah.
So uh, perhaps if there was no injury to Russ, the +2.5 would have covered.
Yep.
But that's just betting. That's just what it is. Is the name of the game.
Yeah, he missed that field or extra point, and I was like, "Oh shit, here we go. There goes the 2.5." But luckily we covered. So, yeah. So let's dive in. As always, if you guys have any questions, if you guys are tuning in after the fact and watching, you can find us on Twitter. You can go in my free Discord as well. That's linked to the Twitch channel here. But at Azim Rakes, at .bets on Twitter. If you guys have any questions, concerns, DM both of us. We'll get back to you in a timely manner. But so let's dive in. We got a London game this week. First one, I think there's only one this year, but it's the Jets and the Falcons. So we are displaying the top two teams in the NFL to European to European culture. So
I was just about to mention that.
yeah, so good. Hopefully this stadium's sold out and they can see a good game. But yeah, there's zero star power in this one with Ridley out. Really puts a damper on it. I'm personally staying away. If I had to take a side, I would take the Jets. What are you on in this game, Azim?
I'm on the Jets as well, and I'm going to make that an official play, a free play that I'm giving out. But here's the thing with the Jets. Initially, I was going to give out the +3. As we talked about prior to the stream starting, I kind of dropped the ball on that one. I have a tendency to do that. I keep forgetting to take these lines, and now it's +2.5 everywhere, including on what is that,
Yeah,
DraftKings.
yep.
So including on that +2.5, and really everywhere, it's +2.5. The only +3 I found was on Bovada, and that's at -125. And I really don't like that -125. I don't like the juice. So what I'm really going to be doing right here is I'm going to be waiting to see if the +3 comes up. And if it does, then I'll be taking the +3. However, if it doesn't come up, I'm going to rather take the money line at +2.5. I just don't like it. I know you can win by
Yep.
two, or teams can win by two and stuff. But if the Falcons are going to win this, they're going to win this by, I think, a touchdown or two, or they're going to lose this entirely. I think this is a very polarized game. It's going to be either or. And I actually figure that the Jets will be more likely to win here. Again, Calvin Ridley out. Falcons just not playing well. Matt Ryan looking like a shell of himself. The Jets coming off of a win for a team that doesn't have a winning culture. That one win can actually provide so much of a momentum swing that I think that momentum swing in itself might help them come in and either cover or win. I prefer the cover, so I'd rather try to take the +3. But again, I'm not paying -125 for the +3. At that point, I'd rather just take the money line for +125.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's the Jets, and I'm gonna write that down as an official play
Yeah,
here.
man. I'm right there with you. I think this over/under is pretty dang high for these two offenses. 45. Ah, I get.
I think the Jets did really well last week.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I guess,
the Titans looked worse, and the Titans definitely lost that game.
and
It wasn't like the Jets winning it, but they did enough.
right, and it's the Falcons defense too, who can't get off the field to save their
Exactly.
lives.
They did enough against the Titans. I think they'll be able to do enough with the Falcons. And frankly, I mean, the Titans were out receivers too. They were
Yep.
out Julio and AJ, and the Jets won it for that purpose. And now we're kind of seeing the same story with the Falcons out Calvin Ridley. So, uh, you know, I think the Jets will just have enough confidence and enough amount of momentum to try and swing this game.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I would lean the Jets here. Not an official play. Azim is officially on them at +2.5. So we'll move on to the next game that is back over in the United States. We got Eagles and the Panthers. I think this is one of the more intriguing games of the afternoon. I personally like the Eagles here. I've kind of not written off the Carolina Panthers. It's just more of I think the Eagles have played a tougher schedule, and that was our last stream. We were both on the Cowboys. Loved the Cowboys because the Panthers ended up being 3-0 against teams that were combined 0-9. So but I will give them credit. I think they played a lot better than I thought they would against the Cowboys.
Against the Cowboys,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think they did raise a couple eyebrows for me and surprised me in some aspects of it. I love the fact that DJ Moore is getting a little bit more CMC work. He was getting out of the backfield a little bit, having those out routes in the backfield. So I do like him this week as well. I've seen a bunch of people hop on his over receptions. So that's another prop that you could probably go to with CMC. Doubtful, but again, I think it's Hurts and Devontae Smith. I think they've hit a very real connection. I think, and they're Bama boys, weren't they? They play together. Yeah.
Yep.
So that always helps playing from play at a college level and then going case in point Burrow and Chase. So right here, I'd probably favor the Eagles and take the points here at +3. How you feeling, Azim?
Well, I mentioned to Dot I was gonna pick my plays to give out as the spread or as the show went on, and here's my second play. I'm taking the Eagles +3 as well. The Panthers surprising against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys also made multiple mistakes, offensively speaking. Trayvon Diggs really won that game for the Cowboys. To me, I think the Eagles, like you said, have just had a really tough schedule. Hurts and Smith should have a connection. I think in Miles Sanders' usage has also gone up these last 2 weeks. They're starting to use him in the offense. I think this is going to be the game where they're really going to show out what they're truly capable of. Have Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts have that connection while also using Miles Sanders to open up the secondary by running the ball down the field. So I think this is going to be the first true showing of the Eagles' offensive prowess. I mean, it's not much, but I think it's enough to win this game potentially, and hopefully enough to cover. I don't think the Panthers are good. I think, of course, they're dealing with injuries, and frankly, I haven't really been big on them. Like you said, they're 3-0 against combined 0-9. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to give them that much respect for what they've accomplished. Their defense did look fairly well against the Cowboys, but again, I thought it was a lot of the Cowboys just screwing up, just choosing the wrong gaps to run through, just horrible route running in certain regards. So, in my opinion, I don't think the Panthers still deserve too much respect. I believe they deserve a degree of respect, but not too much.
And to point that out, last week we were on the Cowboys. Another reason was that Dak was mobile. Well, now look who they get to play. Jalen Hurts is probably, I would say, he's the most mobile quarterback in the league right now. Who just takes it and runs like he does. I mean, Lamar probably. It's Lamar then Jalen, but he's going to have a field day. I like his over 44.5. I think they're going to establish the run game a little bit more. And I wouldn't say it starts with Jalen, but he has the ability to extend drives, and that's where that Carolina defense is going to struggle, is with those mobile quarterbacks. So I do like the Eagles here, and I like that +3 for sure. So next game we got Oh, this one that I'm back and forth on. Damn it, the Packers and the Bengals. So, me and Azim, we were DMing each other early on, and I was like, all right, I'm all in on the Packers. All in on the Packers. I really like this.
It's
Minus 2.5. Yep. And as the day goes on, I just keep getting a bad feeling about this game. A bad feeling that it's just going to be the young guns running and going against this lackluster there of defense of players for the Packers. I really, really I'm back and forth. I'm not going to have an official play on this stream. I could potentially have one on Sunday's stream. Once I got to dive in a little bit more. Initial thought was Packers. Looking into it a little bit more, I'm leaning the Bengals. What do you think, Azim?
I'm not gonna make this an official like free stream play or whatever. I have 4 of those, and this is not gonna be one of the 4 as of right now. For the Packers right now, like you mentioned, we were on it earlier, and you kind of shied away from it. Of course, I'm gonna still stick to my system, so eventually this should be a play for me. But however, I really don't like this -3 to -2.5. 3 is already such a short number, and to move it down even further to -2.5 is very concerning against a Bengals team that you would expect this Packers team to have a much bigger spread against. So that begs the question, why is it this low? So I'm not going to make this an official play because I'm not, even though my trends and systems are agreeing with it, for me, it's actually as of right now, not too confident. But what I do like in this situation, now that it is -2.5, is the projection essentially, or not the projection, but I guess to a degree, I guess what Vegas might be saying is that they expect the Bengals to score more. And that's why more than they did, at least at the time that they had the opening line. So with that being said, that's why they probably moved it to the +2.5. And if that's the case, then the over might be a play here. So if I were to play this game as of right now, if I had to play one, like I said, the Packers right now, I'm not too confident. I'm gonna have to break that down further. But the over, that might be a play.
Yeah, and this will be a game that I will have a lot of exposure to on the DFS level. So I'll be game stacking this game. I'm gonna make a YouTube video for top plays and stacks after this. They will be featured on there as well. Good boy says house music. I guess he's enjoying the music we got going. Bengals haven't beaten anyone. Packers by 14. Pretty confident. I like it. That's my initial thought. That's exactly how I thought. I was like, it's the damn Bengals. They're not going to compete against Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams. That's my initial thought. Going a little bit, but going deeper into it and just dissecting it, I'm a little hesitant. So I'm not gonna have an official play, but I initially thought Packers, waiting probably until Sunday to give out a play on the stream on this position. But yeah, I like Azim's. I like his. Yeah, I like the over for
sure. For me, I just typed the numbers into that little algorithm about the market projections. This is a nice game to look at the market projections. Right now, the market projection is 24.25 versus 26.75. Without hesitation, those two numbers are 27 and 24, which would imply that the over push or the total pushes, but the Packers cover. But I mean, that's just such a number like that I wouldn't want to be around. The reverse line movement on this and everything of that nature, maybe not so much. It's not too confident for me.
I feel like this is a typical trap line for Vegas. Like they're just like, everyone's gonna go to the Packers because it's the Packers, it's Aaron Rodgers, and everyone's just gonna feed it. Oh wow, they just got to win by a field goal, and boom, end up losing because the Bengals.
You want to know something? Action Network is reporting 70% bets on Green Bay, but 43% of money.
So 40. Okay.
So you know, the Bengals are only getting 30% of the money, of the bets, but they're getting 57% of the money, according to Action Network as of right now. And there's reverse line movement. So that's a definite reverse line movement.
That is surprising, though. I thought it'd be a little bit more money on the Packers, but I guess some sharps and everything like that are coming in. But, yeah.
I mean, it's still Friday, and so we can see tomorrow what happens.
Yeah,
And Sunday, of course, you have your Sunday show, so I think by Sunday you'll know way more about this game as well.
Yeah, I just think it's too it's too much of a coin flip for me to have a official play. But yeah, and Good Boy says, yeah, it does feel like a trap. It truly does. This is the one game that I just feel like Vegas is just setting it out.
Right.
So let's go to the next game here. We got probably a favorable survivor pick here. We got a couple this week. I would say the Patriots at the Texans. We got a -9 spread. In my head, I just feel like it's too many points for a rookie quarterback on the road. But he's been known, and he's shown his ability to get it done in the NFL. And I do like Mac Jones for sure. I just don't know about 9. But I don't want to put money on Texans +9 either. So I have no play here. Azim, how are you feeling on this one?
If I had to lean one way, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. If I had to lean, I'd take the Patriots here. However, again, rookie quarterback on the road. Great game this past week, but a losing game nonetheless. You have to worry about the locker room a little bit. They also who was it that they just released?
Stephon Gilmore. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they just had defensive new implementation on the defensive end. You know, the fact that their defense might not be set or integrated entirely, that's all concerning to me. If I had to play one side, it would be the Patriots, however, because I just don't believe in the Texans. Right. But I'm going to stay away from this game. However, if you are going to bet the Patriots, don't bet on DK. It's -8.5 at other places.
There we go.
So just wait it out. Either maybe DK will move it down to 8.5. If it doesn't, then play it somewhere else, maybe FanDuel or something.
Yeah, and I've seen a bunch of people hop on Damian Harris's rush yards. It's another prop that you could probably go out to. It's juiced up. I think it was like 61 when it came out, but now it's up to 70.5. So I'd probably lean off of that. But he has a fair real matchup, being probably the only running back they got. I know that Bolden will be involved, Stevenson will be involved, and Taylor will be involved. But Harris is definitely the lead back. Could he get?
I like that Brandon Cooks, 64.5.
Brandon Cooks, yeah, he's going to get peppered. He's been getting peppered the entire season. He's over 5.5 receptions. That's pretty low, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, for him.
Plus 110. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think he's going to. He's not going to get shadowed, but I mean.
No, I mean, I just think, again, my concerns with the Patriots rely solely on the secondary.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, just a team on the road, even. So a lot of concerns there with their whole defensive side, potentially the whole team. So for me, I don't think the Patriots might stay on the field. I mean, either they're going to kill it, and this is one of those polarized games where it's going to be one way or the other. I think either the Patriots are going to go off, or they're going to be so lackluster that the Texans are going to go off. And so the props on the Texans game might be nice on the Texans side.
Yeah, and if you have kind of watched the Texans, they just throw it to Brandon Cooks the entire game long. That's all they have. So I really, truly like that over 5.5. That could definitely be definitely be a position that I take either on that Sunday show or in maybe even VIP. I like that much. So next one we got Titans at the Jags. I'm favoring the Titans here. That's going to be an official play here on the stream. Do like them a lot. I saw it this morning at 4, went to 4.5, went down to 4 again. It's at 5. I'm okay with taking it still at 5. I know it's not the greatest number to get, but I got it earlier this morning at 4. But I'm good with that. I'm good with that -5. Just think they get AJ Brown back, who is a receiver that I'm targeting a lot in DFS this week. I think he gets to finally have a bounce back spot. It's truly his only receiver being there, and the Jags don't have anybody that can kind of stop him. And then you got Henry's track record against the Jags, who he just completely owns every single year. I think this is a curb stomping right here. And another narrative play right here. So this is what I've been thinking about in my head: the Urban Meyer crap that's going on. Do you really think that the guys are going to rah behind him? I think they're going to. I don't think so whatsoever. I know that's far fetched. It's a narrative. I just don't see. Don't see this team saying, "Yep, let's give it our all for this guy." And
Right.
I can see the Titans winning by at least a touchdown. How you feel, Zim?
I don't have a play on this, but I agree with everything that you said. My concern does lie with. So I was actually before you said that Urban Meyer part, I was actually going to give Titans Jaguars over. However, now that you mentioned that, I don't even know if Jacksonville will like go off or even potentially score. I know it's such a narrative
Yep.
thing. You know what? I'm gonna give it out. So we're gonna go with the Titans Jaguars over
There you
here,
go.
simply because Titans have too many pieces. Even if the Jaguars can't perform, I can see the Titans putting up not. I mean, obviously not 48 and a half, but they can put up quite a bit. Um, and I mean, I think Jacksonville gets at least a couple touchdowns here, and all I need the Titans to do is pretty much put up like what, 20 something, 30 something.
And these two
Um,
teams play at an incredibly fast pace too. Probably the top
right.
five paces in the entire NFL, and you're getting them at a under 50 over under. I see your point there. I like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I'm seeing at 48 and a half
48 and
right
a half.
now.
So it's 49 on
So I
defense.
guess a little bit. I'm gonna actually. I don't see a big difference between 48 and a half and 49. I don't think 49 is one of those numbers that's gonna hit too often. So I'm gonna wait for 48. If it doesn't happen, if it moves up to 49 across the board, then I'll just take it at 49 and not risk the 49 and a
Right.
half. But yeah, I think, yeah, I'm gonna take the over 48 here, waiting on that. But yeah, Titans Jaguars over here. I think the Titans will run enough. Or I mean, I don't think the Jaguars can stop the run enough. And on top of that, with AJ Brown and is Julio returning? Julio's returning too,
Julio's
right?
out. I don't think he's gonna play.
Oh,
It's just a yeah.
so AJ Brown,
Just AJ.
that should be enough for a couple of deep dive touchdowns. So yeah, I think the over is very valuable here.
Yeah, and Good Boy makes a good point. Titans pass defense is awful. It is the worst. I think we can all complete a 50-yard pass against this Titans defense. It's so bad. I mean, you got threaded by Zach Wilson, who threw more interceptions than they did
Right.
completions every single week. So I do see your guys' point here, and I do like that position. This is going to be. It won't be something that I'm targeting as a game stack necessarily for DFS, but I will have bits and pieces in this game. So like AJ Brown, I'll have a bunch
Yeah.
of. I do like Marvin Jones a lot. I don't think I'm gonna have too much Derrick Henry just because he's so expensive. I think he's like $9,000, so I'm not gonna have too much of him. But I do like the pass catchers in this scenario for sure. So yeah, so my official play is Titans. If you guys want to keep track there. Next one, what we got? Ooh, probably the toughest spread on the slate right here for the 12 o'clock games. Two reeling teams right now. We got the Broncos at the Steelers. Initially, I've said like I just want to keep believing in the Steelers, but I just cannot. But then I'm also hesitant because I think Bridgewater is going to end up playing, but how effective is he going to be with all the concussion protocols and whatnot? So I don't have a play on this game. I still feel like over 39.5 is completely too low. So that would be my only position would be to go the over, and Big Ben figures it the hell out that he actually can still be a quarterback in the NFL. So what do you think, Azim?
Um, yeah, this is one of those games that I don't even think hits over, but it's so low that you can't even take the under. It's one of those sides that I just can't figure out. If I had to lean one way, it would definitely be the Broncos. The Steelers just look very lackluster, but then you still have Najee Harris. If Big Ben can't do anything, can the Broncos continuously stop Najee Harris and a couple of passes to Claypool or Deontay Johnson or Juju? I don't know. This is one of those games where the Steelers have so many pieces that this shouldn't be the line,
Right.
nor should this be total. However, it's where this
Yeah.
we have to lean away probably.
Azim, your mic's just cutting out just a little bit. There you go.
Yeah,
Yep. Now I can hear.
Yeah, this is one of those sides that I would lean the Broncos, but it's very iffy.
Yeah, it's incredibly iffy. My initial lean was the Steelers, just saying that they're at home and they can win by a damn field goal, and they need a victory badly. But ultimately, going to be off this game. My only position would be the over 39.5, and you just hope that Big Ben can can rally the troops. So nothing crazy in that game. We got the next one. So the Saints at the football team. So the Saints have been probably the most roller coaster team in the NFL this season, with absolutely throttling the Packers, losing to teams that you're not supposed to, like the Giants, who they were up 11 points with like 6 to go and ended up losing that game. This is a position that I do like, that I'm going to buy back to the Saints. The roller coaster continues, and I'm going to go back to them. I think they're the more talented team, and this football team's defense is legitimately in trouble. I don't know if they know that they were very, very good last year. They just don't have that same identity. I don't know what happened to Ron Rivera in his defense, but for whatever reason, they can't get anybody off the field. And this just feels like it's a ground and pound game, maybe for the Saints. I don't think they throw Winston too much. It's more of the Taysom Hill, Kamara. And if you guys have been watching the Saints a little bit, Taysom Hill has been getting a lot more gadgety run plays, especially in the red zone. But they're not trying to get Winston to carry this team. They're gonna ground and pound it a little bit more. That's why I think this over under is pretty dang low at 43.5. How you feel?
For me, I don't think anything's changed with the Washington football team defensively. I mean, like, obviously they're underperforming, but, like, I mean, what pieces have they lost? Ron Rivera is still there. For me, I think this is more just of a matter of a slow start. So I do expect them eventually to turn it around. I hope it's not this week, given that I'm a Saints fan. But, I mean, I can see this football team bouncing back and, having that same defensive identity as they did in the past. My concern is that the Saints had 0 targets towards Kamara last week. You can run the ball so many times till your own offense goes to bed, because your offense is designed with Kamara getting a lot of targets as well as other receivers. And when you're just not using Jameis Winston I think Jameis Winston had 18 attempts last week. When you're just not utilizing his passing ability, I don't think you can win games. And so my concern here would quite remain with the fact that, are they going to utilize him? And if they're not going to, I don't see the Saints winning this game, crazily enough. Like I said, football team might have a bounce back defensively, and they have enough pieces with Scary Terry, Gibson, McKissick to be able to slow the tempo of this game and just kind of run the game for themselves. That being said, if I had to lean away, it would be the football team, because I don't see the Saints utilizing. As you said, they even last game they made Taysom Hill so gadgety, utilizing him quite a bit. That's just not allowing Jameis Winston to become comfortable with the offense in the moment, to not be able to gain that momentum, and you're just stopping drives, pulling in Taysom Hill. I didn't like the whole sequences. For me, it's going to be simple. I think if there's a side here, I think it's Washington. I would wait for the +3, however, but I hope I'm entirely wrong.
Yeah.
I hope Saints are able to win this game and cover.
So I just found a gem, I think. I was waiting to see if this was on when I turned the stream on. But Alvin Kamara having an over/under of 26.5 receiving yards. That is incredibly too low. And I know he had 0 targets last game, so that doesn't just alarm everybody in the building that, hey, we need to get our best player the ball and utilize him in the best way, which is through the air. And it doesn't have to be very, very deep. Just let him do a little cross route right in the middle. To this point, Washington football's defense is 31st in DVOA against pass catching backs. So he's getting the best matchup possible for him to bounce back. And now it's over 26.5, which is incredibly low. It's usually in the 30s and 40s. Sometimes it's in the 50s with Drew Brees. So I'm buying this one here. This will be an official stream play, or I'll put this everywhere. I don't care. I like that play a lot.
I would take that.
That's incredibly low.
I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't hit, because if it doesn't hit, it's because he got 0 targets, and that's just poor coaching and administrative, issues. But it should hit. If they decide to fix their problems this week, and their simple problem fix is to get Kamara the ball. In that case, that 26.5 is covering by a mile every time. You have that in your Discord. You have that prop thing, right? That prop.
Yeah, I can.
You should check it on that, man.
Try.
See in the last 7 or 10 games, how often he's covered that 26 and a half.
Let's,
I bet every game.
let's see. And this is free to join. If you guys are looking at this and going for it, all you literally have to do is just click my link tree and you are in. And it's got NBA now too, the NBA props as well. So it's pretty. The prop guys are unbelievable. They're doing a great job. All right, so prop Alvin Kamara, 26 and a half rush yards. Pops up. Oh, not rush yards. Damn it, it was receiving yards, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It should be all green. I'm deleting that one. All right.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would assume, except for last week.
All right, so prop Alvin Kamara, 26 and a half receiving yards. So that's a little bit more red than I thought, but
I haven't seen it yet.
oh, you see it? You got? I'll zoom in.
Yeah, I see it now. I see it now.
There we go. So I mean, if you're zooming in, I mean, he's got. So this goes back to last year. So the first three, he's got an 8, 25, and 29, and then you got 0. That is interesting. I didn't know it was this. I didn't know it was this low. I'm buying it though. I'm going all in. You guys heard it here first.
Yeah, I mean, with the Redskins being as trash as they are to pass catching running backs, I would entirely believe that. Yeah, that 0 just sucks. I mean, that's just absurd.
I'll keep this.
Yeah,
I'll keep this up and make sure if we have any other props. If you guys do have any props, you guys are watching, throw them in the chat and we can throw them in the Discord and whatnot. But if you also want to join, just click the link tree and you're in. I've had some weird people come in. I don't know. Have you ever screwed around with Discord, Azim?
Yeah, a couple times.
I guess it's free and people like. So I have guys in there that are obviously, they enjoy being in there. So they'll DM me and say, hey, this guy just messaged me about fixing soccer matches. And I'm like, God dang it! So now I gotta block him. Like there's some weird cats out there. What the hell are they doing? I mean, I just ban them, but I also don't want to make it kind of free sometimes, but you got to. It's a no-brainer. All right, next one we got Lions at the Vikings. We got a double-digit spread here. Going to be another popular survivor pick. I am off of this game. I wanted to take the Vikings early on. I think we were like 8.5, and now it's all the way up to 10. I think I lost the steam, so I'm going to ultimately be off. What do you got in this game, Azim?
For me, this is an interesting situation because I have trends and stuff and systems both on the Lions and the Vikings. So the play on this is going to be a game time decision for me, depending on closing lines. Where that lands, that's going to either pull in a couple of more systems or it's going to reject a couple of systems. You know the story there. And so I'm not going to have a play on it till Sunday, but if I am looking at a play right here, it's going to be the Vikings. I like the big spreads. I think that a lot of people consider these big spreads to be stayaways, and the few people that don't consider them to be stayaways are usually the people that are taking the dog. So I like to take advantage of that public perception because generally speaking, value is given to the team that's being favored by double-digit points. And if we kind of look at the money, I don't know where the money situation is right here. Yeah. So bet percentage right now on the Vikings is 46%. Money percentage is 70%. They have a plus 24% differential. And that's usually the case with all these big favorites. And so, that's, I'm going to wait out my systems to determine whether there's value according to my systems. And so I won't have a play officially on this till Sunday. So, but again, if I'm leading away, it's going to be the Vikings.
Yeah, I think if I had to take a spot, I would definitely be fading the Lions. But they have backdoor covered a couple games here, so don't rule them out. The one way you can defeat the Lions is definitely through the ground game. They can't stop anybody. Only hitch here is that you got Dalvin Cook on a bum ankle, so you got to see over 67.5 is enticing, but you got to. I really wish they had Madison's rush yards on here, and they're smart for not doing so because they'd probably get exploited. But if that does end up coming on here, I'll probably have a play like with Madison's rush yards because I think he's going to be the more effective back. I don't know if you watched. I don't know if you watched last week, but Dalvin was in and out of the game. I think he's going to be like that for a couple more weeks as it starts to get more healthy. But the fact that he's playing on this it's surprising. But the Vikings need to win. So they got to have their best player out there. And you're not gonna get it through Kirk Cousins or anything like that. So it's going to be Cook or Madison. So waiting for Madison's rushing yards to pop up. I wish there was a notification like that DraftKings says like, hey, the rush props are up, or everybody. I wish they would do that, but then everybody flocks to it then.
Yeah, for sure.
Next one we got. So we got one last at 12 p.m. and then we got a couple more for the 4. We got probably my favorite position of this slate. Dolphins at the Bucks, and I am drooling over this Buccaneers team, this position. So like the Bucks here at -9.5. I'm not a big spread guy, but this game just makes too much sense. And I get that the Bucks don't have any secondary. Everybody's hurt. I think they get Bean back as well, so that helps. However, the only way to beat this Bucks team is through the air. And Jacoby Brissett cannot throw the ball 10 yards. He can, but he doesn't do it ever. His 8 out was 6.6 last week. So I don't know if it probably dropped after last week's performance. But the only way to beat this Bucks team is through the air. They will not be able to. They are going to swarm him with blitzes. Bowles absolutely is going to blitz the hell out of Brissett. And Parker is a game time decision for the Dolphins, who's their best receiver. Waddle is going to get a lot of targets. You're going to have Gesicki get a lot of targets, but you're not going to get Brown. You're not going to get Gaskin too much out of the backfield receiving wise. I think this is a stomping right here for the Bucks.
Right. Yeah, everything I just said about the Vikings, same thing for the Bucks. Trends on both sides of it. It's going to depend on closing line value. Same thing though, double-digit spreads over here. It's a really good value on DK -9.5. Everywhere else, it's -10. So if you're going to take it at DK. But that's a little concerning because what if DK just beat the market and basically everybody else is going to move down to -9.5. However, I like the double-digit. Buccaneers have a 2% plus money differential too. So it's like I said, everything is just lining up the way it should. Just depends on closing lines. Depending on that, one of my systems will really sway this play, whether it will be a play or not.
Yeah. And then I was talking about Gesicki or Waddle. Waddle's receptions. So it's still at over 4.5. So I was looking this morning, it was -150. I think Gesicki, man, it was at -130 at over 3.5. Now it's at -170. So that's not a good play. Maybe wait till it goes to wait till it goes to over 4.5. I think he gets to 5 or 6. I was on this play last week and he got it as well. So Brissett just targets his tight ends for sure. And then you got the changing in the backfield. I think for the Bucks is solidified with Leonard Fournette being the main target there. Rojo's kind of just been in the doghouse. You got Gio Bernard who is hurt, so I don't know if he's going to play this Sunday. But if not, I like a lot of Fournette for DFS.
For sure, I agree with you entirely. I have Fournette on a fantasy team as well, and he's just performed, and I'm really glad I drafted him.
Yeah, same. I was trying to stay away from that backfield. I had Rojo last year, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go Lenny this year, and I have Miles Sanders, so luckily Fournette can play a little bit more than Miles Sanders this year because Miles hasn't been diddly squat. So on to the 3 o'clock games. We got the Browns, Chargers, probably the best game of the afternoon slates. 2 premier teams. I like the dog here. I would take the +2 or the money line, but I think the Browns match up very, very well, and I think their defense is getting underrated here. How do you feel about this matchup?
It is one of those matchups that I can't wrap my head around. I'm kind of annoyed that the Browns are a dog, but then at the same time, if the Chargers were a dog, I'd be annoyed at that too. These are 2 really good teams. I think, like you said, if I have to lean aside with this, it would be with the dog, and simply because both teams are capable of winning it. To me, it's a pick 'em.
Mhm.
To me, it really is a pick 'em. So whatever team is the dog is the team I would take because that's added value. But yeah, two great teams, performing really well. Browns again underrated on defense, but the Chargers semi underrated on offense. So it's going to be a little
Right.
concerning to see, or it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be a fun game to
Right.
watch.
And I gotta step away for just like 1 second. Can you just take over for like I
Yeah,
got the kid crying upstairs. Yeah,
yeah,
just give
yeah,
me
I
for like
got you. Man.
2 minutes. Just a second.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, for me, it's definitely going to be the Browns. Let me pull up the money. Okay, that's interesting. So the Browns are getting 35% of the bets. However, they're getting 30% of the money. So it's a negative 5% differential, while the Chargers are getting 65 and the money is coming in 70%. So basically, the sharps are agreeing to a 5% over or cover on the Chargers. However, every other place has it at -2.5, and then DK pulls it down -2. So I'm going to do a really quick look at all the lines across all the books, and pretty much every book is different. Bet Online has it at -1. So this is going to be interesting. Clearly, the line is moving in favor of the Chargers, even though the money is coming in. That's never a pretty look. That essentially determines, this game to be a stay away game. But if I had to take something, I think Doc said the same thing, that it would be a look towards the dog. Um, Dang, I don't know what game he had next. I'm just gonna choose which game he had next. Let's go with Giants Cowboys. All right. So for the Giants Cowboys, I like this game a lot. NFC East divisional matchup. The Cowboys have been looking really well. They've performed really well. The Panthers were definitely a team that I thought were going to get blown out, and against them, and the Panthers again very phenomenally, or they're phenomenally rated, speaking defensively. But they've also only played three 0-3 teams up until last week, and so that being said, I didn't think much of the Panthers, and I thought they were going to get blown out. Dot was on the same side as me on that. However, the Cowboys did play lackluster towards the Panthers, and so that concerns me with the Giants. I mean, I don't think the Giants are any good, but being a divisional matchup, we always usually see these rivalries go punch for punch, and so if that's the case, my concern would definitely lie with the Cowboys covering. However, I do have the Cowboys spread as a play, and that's going to be my and fourth play for the stream. So Cowboys -7. Again, for this same situation, I want to get value, so I'm going to try to wait for the -6.5. But I doubt it's going to get to -6.5. If I look at the line movement really quickly, we are, yeah, I got to -6.5 about, what was it? Oh, y'all just
All right. Sorry about
Yeah, no worries. Something happened to my speaker, but I started on Cowboys Giants, so I was just mentioning we can come back to Browns and Chargers. I just went over to Cowboys
that. Oh, okay.
Giants because that's something I have a play on. But yeah, for as I was mentioning, I'm gonna wait for the -6.5. It hasn't moved in the last 24 hours, so I doubt it's gonna move. So if you want to take something, just take that -7. But that's gonna be my fourth play on this game is the Cowboys -7.
Cowboys -7. Okay. Yeah, and that for a part of me wants to take the Giants +7 just because I think it's a divisional matchup that can keep it close. But
Right.
the
I just mentioned that
yeah,
too.
man, the Giants have just they're surprising me a little bit more this year. Um, Week by week, I think they've gotten a little bit better. So maybe seven's too much here. I probably will stay off of this play, but I do like this game stack for DFS. You got over 53; it's the highest one. You got a bunch of good pieces, and you got some cheap pieces for the Giants. That Tony kid, that is playing very very well for them. So end up gonna. I won't be on this for an official play, but I would lean the Giants. But I Cowboys have been very very good this season.
Right. And going off the market projection of 53-7. Essentially, the market projection is 30-23. Those are two good numbers. Those are key numbers. So I can definitely see this total pushing as well as the spread pushing. The 30-23 is a really nice market projection.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's a for me. I think if the Cowboys win, I think that the Cowboys have a more likelihood to score more than 30 than they do to score less than 30. And then if I'm looking at the Giants, I think they have a likelihood to score less than 23 versus more than 23. That being said, I like the spread here for that purpose. If you consider the Giants to put up 23 points, you would say, okay, before they hit 27, they'd rather hit 20.
Right.
And with the Cowboys, rather than hitting 27 first, you think they'd rather hit 34 first.
Yep.
So for me, I like the Cowboys -7 here, and that was kind of the key principle I deduced or used to deduce my fourth play.
Oh, nice. So Bears, Raiders. You didn't discuss this one, did you? Right?
No,
Okay,
I did not.
sweet. I lean the Raiders heavily here. I don't know if I'm going to actually get there, but I just don't trust this Bears team on the road. The Raiders, I think they just lost to the Chargers. Is that Monday night game, right? Yeah, and they had a tough game there. I think this Raiders team could be lethal to an extent where they beat up on teams like this, like the Bears. I don't think they're to that point where they can compete and beat the elite teams, but I think they're in that bottom tier, probably playoff potential teams that are able to beat up on the lower level teams here in the Bears, which I think they're still trying to figure out their identity for the most part. He finally did come around and start Justin Fields, but we'll see how much he can actually do, and maybe he gets a little bit boost of confidence here. But this line has been going in the Raiders' favor, and I like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm taking a side here, it's the Raiders, and that's because Justin Fields was just named the starter, and for this whole time, they haven't really been a team because the team has to be, integrated. And Justin Fields this is his first start, 4 games into this, or this is the 5th game of the season, and it's his first start. I also have to consider the fact that there was multiple reports about Nagy not starting him. It was really just the front office saying you have to start him, and if that's the case, will Matt actually utilize Justin Fields or not? Will he
That's a good point.
Give him that?
Yeah, very good point.
So I'm gonna take the Raiders here. Or I'm not gonna take them here. I don't have a play on this. But if I have to take something, it'd be the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be on a play officially, but I do favor the Raiders here at home. They definitely have a home field advantage now this year. Back with their fans in the stands. They obviously know that they're crazy. A good position here. Fields over 28.5 is not terrible. I think it ended up being, wasn't it last time he started, it was in the 50s. It was stupid high, and they didn't get any. I think it was against the Browns. It went to it was 50 something, and everybody steamed it. Everybody was like, he's gonna run all over the place, and I think he had negative yards. It was horrible. But now it's at 28.5. It's just pretty reasonable. And with that added boost of confidence, I think you see him get out of the pocket a little bit more. I don't mind this play here at over 28.5. If I plug this into the one in the Discord, it's probably not going to give me a good result. But let's see.
He's a fairly mobile quarterback, So I could definitely see the pocket collapse enough times with the Bears defense as well for him to feel that he does need to escape, and so that could be a key part of him getting that 28.5.
Yeah, so his best one of the year was 31 against the Bengals, and then he had 12 when that was at 50 something, and then he had 9 last week. So yeah, it's concerning, but I think it's an angle that you could, if we project and we don't go off of maybe too much of the past data because it's so new and so raw, that if you just kind of you sit back and think, hey, how could he project to project running wise? I think he could get out of the pocket a little bit more. So that's a nice little position there.
A little bit more confident, and a little bit more pressure that where he might feel the need to get out.
Yeah,
so I agree.
Crosby gets after him on that blind side. He could be scrambling and rolling. Yeah, I could definitely see it. So yeah, we talked about Giants, Cowboys. So this one, all right, NFC West showdown. We just had one last night on Thursday Night Football. We have another one on Sunday, the 49ers at the Cardinals, and we have Trey Lance as the quarterback. Finally.
Right.
And if you were following any of my streams, any of my YouTube videos, anything like that, I told you to take Trey Lance if you're going the no quarterback strategy. You're going to go late round, and it's going to start paying off for you because he's going to be the guy. I know they said Jimmy G is going to be the quarterback. It's the same thing that's happened with Andy Dalton, but they're going to be forced to play the best quarterback on the team, and it's Trey Lance. And in that position here, so this is actually fluctuated throughout the stream. I've been looking at it. So this is the position that I like on the 49ers. It's been it was at plus 4.5 this morning. Now it's at plus 5.5. It's been going between 5.5 and 5 as we've been talking. So I'm wanting it. I want it to go to like plus 7. I don't think it's going to go that way, but I can see it going to plus 6. I can see it go to plus 6. So I'm waiting.
If it hit, have a play on it, but if it hits plus 6, I would definitely recommend the 49ers.
Yep, that's my play here. I'm waiting. I think this is the ultimate letdown spot for the Cardinals at home. They're 4-0. They just had a big divisional win against the Rams, and this sets up perfectly. So,
there's no knock on the Cardinals. They're a great team. I just think 49ers is going to be rejuvenated, and they have key pieces. They have guys like Deebo Samuel, Trey Lance coming in. They have a decent defense. If there's going to be a team that can upset them in their own division, it makes sense for the 49ers to be able to upset them. Divisional game, they know how the Cardinals play for a while now. I mean, if it gets to that plus 6, that's a key number. If it gets to that plus 6, 49ers should definitely be
the only thing I'm concerned about is I hope their defensive coordinator stops playing so much man defense because they go 4 wide against the Cardinals go 4 wide a lot. And if you're going to let Hopkins go one-on-one against people, he's going to eat you alive. They have the speed with Kirk and Moore, and you got A.J. Green kind of in the red zone area for a big target. So I am skeptical to a point that I know that the secondary for the 49ers is beat up and young. So that would be the only way that I think they do not get covered is if they get burned a couple times. But ultimately, I think the 49ers can cover. I would think that this line for a divisional matchup would be in that Seattle LA game, 2.5. And now you're getting plus 5.5, plus 6. I think you're getting a lot more points than you're getting a good value here on the 49ers.
Yeah, no, I entirely agree with it. I just think they're going to be rejuvenated. I think they're going to want to play a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive. I mean, I think it's going to be a really good game. I mentioned that Browns and Chargers might be the best game of the afternoon slate, and I think this game is just as likely to be the best game of the slate. It has the makings for an upset.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers won outright. But, even to have that plus 6, that's 2 field goals or even 1 field goal, I can see the Cardinals winning by 1 or 2 field goals. And so that plus 6, I think, is a key number.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to wait. I'm definitely just trying to see how far it can go. I'm surprised it's going that way, but the public's probably a lot on the Cardinals.
They're actually on.
Are they on the 49ers?
So the public is 50-50. Like the bet percentages are 50-50, but the 49ers are getting the money.
Nice. I like that. So then we got the greatest Sunday night game that they could have asked for right now. You got a great Bills-Chiefs matchup here. I have not made up my mind whatsoever. I want to say the Chiefs can cover pretty dang easily. However, the Bills, what I'm probably going to end up going is towards the over because the Chiefs cannot stop anybody. And then the Bills are going to be the best offense that they play against. And I do not see them stopping them. Only reason why I favor the Chiefs is because they are at home, more experienced. But, man, I like this over a lot.
Yeah, so for me, with the Chiefs, Bills, I would lean the over as well just because the Bills have put up so many points in these past 2 games. They got their tempo. They have the momentum. They've really, really well meshed. The Bills and the Chiefs both returned a lot of their starters. They're really well meshed. I can see there being a lot of points. I also like the Chiefs in this situation because I know there's like a huge bias about the Chiefs playing or underperforming and this and that, and the Bills being who they are. a great team. I know a lot of people are actually on the Bills, but for me, it's simple. The Chiefs aren't going to be taking this matchup lightly. Last few games they haven't performed to their level, but this was literally the AFC Conference Championship
Yep.
game. Like, they're going to come back and they're going to try to fight. I think both teams are going to fight, and when both teams try to fight in the playoffs, the Chiefs won that by by a mile. So I don't think this one's going to go much different. I don't have an official play on it, but if I were to lean aside, it would be definitely the Chiefs
Yeah,
spread.
I like that. I'm on the Chiefs. I would lean the Chiefs side as well. I just do like the points in this one. What wasn't this the game that they were down like 14 nothing or 21 nothing? Was that no? That was against the that was against the Texans like 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a crazy game. But I think they got down a couple scores against the Bills too early on. The Chiefs were like known to do that, and then they came by.
This year, though, they've been a really second half team. They've been a huge second half team. Even the Buccaneers, the two Super Bowl teams from last year are just second half teams this year. They come out in the first half and just look super lackluster, and play the second half.
Then we got Monday night game to wrap this up. Monday night we got the Colts and the Ravens. So I would probably go with the points here with the Colts plus 6.5. That's my initial thought with it. Both teams want to run the football, and this over at 46 is probably spot on in my opinion. I could see them. I could see them both trying to establish the run early, then letting it air out a little bit from there on. You've had Marquise Brown come alive for this Ravens team. Mark Andrews hasn't had a Mark Andrews game yet, but then you also have Wentz, who's 1 week healthier, and then you have Jonathan Taylor, who is absolutely balling out this year. So I probably lean on the points here just because it is plus 6.5. I wish I got 7, but you never know how it'll end up.
Well, it's gonna come up to plus 7. It'll come up to plus 7. Other books have it at plus 7, and then the 6.5 is also minus 115 for the Ravens. So they'll probably move it to minus 7 as well. So once they do, the plus 7 looks nice. I just don't hit. I think the Colts are still not too well meshed. They brought Carson Wentz in, thinking their team was going to get better because of it, but it just has seemed to take a downswing.
Right.
And it's not just Wentz, right? I don't really even think it's Wentz. I just think it's just the offense is not meshed well together. While the Ravens are, I do expect the Ravens to be able to run the ball. My concern again with the total here, again, as you said, I think they're both going to be running the ball too much. And so, with all the running that's going to be going on, chances are the spread doesn't cover for the Ravens. This is for me an entire stay away game. One part of me believes the Colts will cover, the other part believes the Ravens. I'm just going to stay away. If I had to bet something, though, it'd be the Ravens right now at minus 6.5.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have an official play here, but I would lean the Colts just because I think they can run the ball and control this game, and if they can limit the big plays out of the Ravens, they have a chance to maybe outright win, maybe get their season.
I think this is the first disagreement play I think we've ever had on a stream.
I think it is. Well, so last week I was on the Colts heavy because that was a desperation win, and so they're now they're at 1-3. So they could have been 0-4, facing 0-5. Do they write their season and get back into the picture right here with a 2-3 record? So you can kind of play it that way as well. Nothing official, but I would just think that the Colts could potentially keep this game a little bit closer. Yeah,
for sure. I don't know how that's going to go.
Right. So yeah, anything that you want to close on? If you got any final thoughts, we gave out a lot of plays. I think we went through every one, and we had something on each game. So let me know what your final thoughts are on Week 5.
There's a few games this weekend that are going to be very interesting to watch, at least on my end, just simply because as of right now, I have no side on them because I can't figure them out. The Colts Ravens just being one of them. So I'm going to be excited to watch it. This weekend's going to be very fun because it's also OU and Texas weekend, as you can tell. Ready for that. If you are a Longhorn, DM me. I'll get you my college football card for free.
You're gonna have so many bandwagon Longhorns in your DM.
As long as they're Longhorn fans for this week, I'm fine with it. You don't have to be a Longhorn fan next week. Right. However, if I find out you're a boomer sooner, then I'm gonna hunt you down.
All right, man. Well, guys, check out Azim Rakes. Appreciate him coming on the stream again. If he's available every Friday, I'll have him on here as well. I think we deep dive into each and every analysis of each game. We get after it, and we've brought you guys some winners. So if you guys are tuning back in, watching this later on, if you guys do have any questions, find Azim Rakes at Azim Rakes, and then me at .bets on Twitter. Go follow him as well, and let's cash this weekend.
Oh,
See
yeah.
you guys.
Good luck, man.